Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first hypnosis TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. My name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, happiness, and prosperity. I have two very special guests. Well, my first guest is Abby Carruthers. She's an honors grad of HMI College of Hypnotherapy. She's a recipient of the prestigious Director's Award, and she is our brand new admissions advisor. And she has with her her very special guest and client, Jet. Now, Jet came in to see Abby to use hypnosis to explore the law of attraction. Please help me welcome my guests. Jet, I'm going to start with you. Tell me what was going on.
Well, I originally linked up with Abby because I found there were things that I had been working on for a long time. I'd worked with traditional therapy and kind of explored the conscious world in my life in trying to get it and negotiate myself into working in film and television full time. And I found I felt like there was this kind of a block. There was this thing that would keep me from where I was trying to go, and I kept feeling like I'm almost there, I'm getting close, and something would fall apart that just didn't seem in the realm of something I could cognitively get through.
Sure. So, Jet, I would have hired let's say, an acting coach or a speech coach, or maybe one of those fancy schmancy agents that takes a percentage.
Yeah.
Why a hypnotherapist?
It didn't to me. Again, being a student of the mind and just kind of exploring in acting, you kind of figure out who you are even more because you have to explore yourself before you can explore characters. It didn't feel like it was something someone could attack from the level that I had already attempted, in the sense of I had worked with acting coaches and I had worked with other people, and they weren't getting to the root of the problem. I had the information, but I wasn't accessing it, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. How did you find Abby?
We linked up through some mutual friends on Facebook, and I found her.
I love it. And Abby, I'm so glad that you use social media to be able to connect with more people than we ever could traditionally, just by having a friend tell a friend tell a friend. Mm-hmm. Now we have our Facebook friends all over the world.
Absolutely.
What was going on specifically where you just kept hitting a wall?
When it was coming to auditioning, I'm dyslexic, and when I was a kid, I always wanted to get in the film and television industry, but I never saw myself, for a couple of reasons, getting in front of the camera, which was my true passion. I had horrible acne. I'd be on Accutane twice when I was a kid. And also, I had horrible experience with cold reading. No matter how much I rehearsed or no matter how hard I tried, I'd get up in front of the camera and I'd just freeze. Or I'd get through the lines, and with dyslexia, I'd just jumble. But I didn't want that to stop me from what I believed was my ultimate goal in life.
Jet, I cannot relate more. I have trouble reading off of a teleprompter because of my dyslexia, and yet extemporaneously I'm fine.
Right.
So I can really connect with that. Abby, I want to ask you, what did you do when we have a little bit of and I call it a learning difference, because it certainly is not a learning disability. Mm-hmm. It's just a difference about the way the mind works, and it can be a great gift. What did you do to help Jet access his learning gift to be able to be the best actor he could be using the law of attraction?
The first thing that you have to do when you're working with law of attraction is you have to get a clear goal. You have to have clarification of what it is that you're trying to achieve. And then you do a simple induction. And then what I usually do specifically with law of attraction is take a client into a large temple-like room with streams flowing towards them that represent abundance. And then when the client looks around the room, I have them notice that some of these streams are blocked. And then I ask them to use their awareness, their subconscious understanding, to make these blocks clear to them so they can identify what it is that's blocking.
Okay, I want to go back to Jet. You went into this beautiful temple, and as an actor, I know you're able to access the imagination and really get into a moment. When you were in the temple and you saw the streams of abundance, could you identify the blocks?
Definitely. It was what I felt and what I saw as my self, and then the detachment from what reality was. So I was picturing this kid who had bad acne and would freeze up and come up with any excuse in class not to read. I was so scared. One of the reasons I became so verbal was I had to find reasons to get out of reading in front of the class, and that's who I was still picturing myself as. And those were the definite blocks I saw in the stream, was that there was a disconnection with who I was today and who I associated myself with.
Those things are very, very deep. So Abby, is insight enough? Just knowing what the blocks are, is that enough?
I like to take it one step beyond that, because I truly believe that we have all of the answers within us, that we need to solve any problem in our lives. So what I then do is ask the client to visualize, allow the understanding of what solution they can use to clear the block in their life, allow that to become clear to them.
So what solution became clear, revealed itself?
Well, it was once I started opening these streams, and once Abby guided me through a process that made everything come to me, everything just kind of flow. The most amazing thing was, in practicality, was what transpired after I left the session that I physically had no control over. 2 auditions came up that I was put in front of that just were not a reality prior to me being in the place where those streams were blocked.
So now I got to ask you about your worldview. Coincidence or law of attraction?
Yeah, I mean, I think that some would argue coincidence. I definitely argue towards law of attraction, because it's very difficult to explain to someone the nuances of human existence and the things that had gone on in my life. But the amount of coincidences and the amount of just synchronicity that occurred was unbelievable. And just the way these opportunities came to me were so almost tied up in a ribbon, and the universe saying, here you go, congratulations.
Okay, so it can say, here you are, and here's a script, and let's hear a cold reading.
Right.
So now what?
So when I got to the audition, I actually had a kind of, I guess it was a lack of fear. I mean, it wasn't that I was fearless. I mean, I wasn't changed entirely, but I went in there with the kind of confidence I hadn't before. And I went through a couple of lines, and they kind of had me stop. And I got cast in a national commercial based on just, almost feel like just my existence of being there was what they were looking for. There was something behind me that I didn't see working that made them feel I was the right person for the job without me nailing something I was so terrified about.
It makes sense, because we all know, hypnotherapists, and here I'm preaching to the choir, that our logical mind's only 12% logic and reason.
Yeah.
But there is so much that goes on, the subtext, and the energy that you project saying, I am the right person for this opportunity at this time. When you project it, well, just like sending out a vibration or a frequency, you amplify it and other people pick it up. Tell me about the commercial. Can you talk about it, or is
I
it
can, and I can even name the company if that's all right.
I'd love
it was
that.
a AT&T national commercial, and it's airing right now a lot during soccer games. And it was one of those things that, to even bring it back to the nod from the universe, was that I used to work at an AT&T store, and I was a store manager. And I left that career. I was making good money to pursue my passion as an actor. And everyone thought, oh, you're crazy. What are you doing? You have a great paying job with a pension. I left it to pursue my passion. And then my first real break in the commercial industry, I was back in that same store. It was a mock-up on a soundstage of the stores that I worked at. And here I am pursuing my passion in the world I used to be in a different world. It was incredible.
I can tell you with a surety, that's coincidence.
Yeah, maybe.
Had you ever tried hypnosis before?
I hadn't.
You came to Abby. In what way was it the same as what you imagined? In what way was it different?
That's a great question. I guess the same was that I knew I had to tap into something that I wasn't tapping into yet with all the books and audios I'd taken in as a younger person. Where it was different was I thought someone would have a pocket watch and I'd be like, oh, okay, whatever you say, and that I'd be convinced into things and I'd go into a deep sleep. And I think I was mistaking that with cartoons, is where I was getting the impression of what hypnosis was. And I kept asking Abby if she had a pocket watch, and then I thought to myself, has she already used a pocket watch and removed the fact that the pocket watch exists? So the comical side, that's literally, I thought that it was this, this kind of cartoonish thing, and it was much more powerful than that, much more interesting.
Describe how it felt for you.
Well, in the first couple sessions, I kind of was like expecting something. I thought maybe I'd go under. I thought maybe that it'd be this weird kind of trance. What ended up happening was by the second or third session, my body started reacting to what she was saying prior to saying it, which was kind of interesting. My rhythms would change. I felt it kind of, there was this kind of energy coming from my chest that was responding to her words prior to my thoughts. And that was really, for me, kind of the evidence that it was accessing something that I hadn't felt before.
I have never heard a better explanation of what hypnosis feels like.
Wow.
It's very hard to describe, and
Yeah.
thank you for articulating it. What is next for you, Jet? Tell me, first of all, what your vision is, and then we'll use some law of attraction to make it happen for you. Let's hear.
Well, my vision is to continue and to grow in the industry that I believe I was put on this earth for, which is in film and television, and to have that become a profession that I can live in and have be my full-time career, and then kind of bring people who are in that industry into this world to let them probably come over and see the process that I went through that really opened me up to another kind of realm. So many people drop out of that business because they're putting so much pressure on themselves and they think it's so logical. It's like, oh, if I only do this, or if I only take one more class, or if I only get a new agent. But I found this access that was outside the conscious realm. And I mean, the evidence of that AT&T commercial, I don't know how else to explain it,
There is no better evidence that law of attraction works and hypnosis works. What would you say about working with Abby?
It's been tremendous. I mean, I don't know that anyone could have done it as well as she did. Of course, I have a limited comparison, but with her accent and everything, I think it makes it easier. But it was just she made me feel so comfortable, and I was a little uncomfortable when I first came into it because there was always this fear that oh, that's a big power to give to someone, the manipulation of your subconscious. Because so much of my life that's been painful or tough on me has been my subconscious. So handing that power over to someone was really tough, but Abby made that process so fluid and so enjoyable.
Well, Jet, no one ever comes to see a hypnotherapist to lose control. You only see a hypnotherapist to get more control and better control over your life. Well, Abby, I want to give you the last few words. Do you have a post-hypnotic suggestion for everyone who wants to access law of attraction?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I have a few.
I'd like to hear them all.
Okay, great.
We can bend time with hypnotherapy.
Wonderful. From this day forward, the universe will be bringing to you in thousands of different ways people and things that will be moving you towards your goal. The harder you try to resist the abundance that's flowing into your life, the more easy and effortlessly it comes. And your subconscious mind will start to notice all the different ways that the universe is contributing to your life and receive it with gratitude.
Those are beautiful post-hypnotic suggestions. Everyone is going to want to know more about your unique and wonderful practice. And you can reach Abby Carruthers on hmigrads.com. Well, it appears we're out of time for today, but I'd like everyone to stay tuned because when we return, we're going to meet another HMI grad and we're going to discover what it's like to use hypnotherapy to overcome hoarding. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first hypnosis TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. My name is Lisa Mackenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, happiness, and prosperity. I have two very special guests. Well, my first guest is Abby Carruthers. She's an honors grad of HMI College of Hypnotherapy. She's a recipient of the prestigious Director's Award, and she is our brand new admissions advisor. And she has with her her very special guest and client, Jet. Now, Jet came in to see Abby to use hypnosis to explore the law of attraction. Please help me welcome my guests. Jet, I'm going to start with you. Tell me what was going on.
Well, I originally linked up with Abby because I found there were things that I had been working on for a long time. I'd worked with traditional therapy and kind of explored the conscious world in my life in trying to get it and negotiate myself into working in film and television full time. And I found there was this, I felt like, exploring in acting, you kind of figure out who you are even more, because you have to explore yourself before you can explore characters. It didn't feel like it was something someone could attack from the level that I had already attempted, in the sense of I had worked with acting coaches and I had worked with other people, and they weren't getting to the root of the problem. I had the information, but I wasn't accessing it, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. How did you find Abby?
We linked up through some mutual friends on Facebook, and I think there was this kind of a block. There was this thing that would keep me from where I was trying to go, and I kept feeling like I'm almost there, I'm getting close, and something would fall apart that just didn't seem in the realm of something I could cognitively get through.
Sure. So, Jed, I would have hired let's say, an acting coach or a speech coach, or maybe one of those fancy schmancy agents that takes a percentage.
Yeah.
Why a hypnotherapist?
It didn't to me, again, being a student of, the mind and just kind of